All right, everybody, we're back. When the conversation's getting really, really good and we're really touching on a subject that's needed to be discussed, man, there's always other forces that are trying to get in the way. So we appreciate y'all for coming back in and staying here with us, continuing the conversation. Um, yeah, B, like you posed a question, man, that really made us reflect and think, man. So just want to kind of kick back, get back where you left off.
Yeah, so just kind of touching on how, when sometimes like the thing that we're most afraid of is the thing that frees us, right? And so like facing that fear is the most freeing thing we could ever imagine. And it doesn't feel like it at first, but man, you know what I mean? Like it is once you go through it, and even if you are still going through it in ways and some capacity, you know what I mean? Like you ultimately get to a point where you realize like it's not the end of the world. Like that thing that I was so afraid to confront that I didn't want to necessarily go through and deal with. Um, once you like, man, I couldn't believe that, not that I enjoyed it, but I'm like, man, I can breathe now. And I'm like, man, I let that thing hold me up, a lot longer than I ever would have being on this side of it. And I
Yeah,
think that's how faith, I mean, right. I tell my son this all the time. Everything you want in life is on the other side of the struggle, on the other side of pain, some discomfort, something that you don't want to go through. We were talking about push-ups earlier, right? Doing push-ups. Like the pain that Isaac is woke up feeling, I call that good pain. Like it doesn't necessarily feel good to us, but like the end result of that is a stronger, healthier body, stronger, healthier muscles. You know what I mean? So things that we did not necessarily want, and so it's like, man, I'm looking at this like I didn't want to go through this, but it's going through it. You know what I mean? It's I'm better for it, and so
but I
again,
have a
kind of
question about that though.
yeah.
What if your hardship and what you're going through doesn't seem fair to other people that are also experiencing it with you?
So here, there's the way the only honest way I can answer that question is, man, fair ain't fair. What is a fair? But a place that you go and you buy for apples, or you get on the on the roller coaster rides, or try to win you a giant teddy bear. That's the only thing in this life that you're gonna find that's fair. And even those games is rigged. So the place they call it is a fair, but the games are rigged. You know what I mean? Nothing in life is fair. So it's not about it being fair. Trust. Yeah, so there is. I am hearing a little static. But like nothing in life is fair. The reality is that we have to see it, face it, confront it, and if if you trust, right? Trust is the paramount thing, right? We gotta trust. We have to trust one another. Um, Again, especially in a familial situation, right? Hey, I'll use the process for an example, right? As your dean, you had to trust me. You had to trust me. You know what I mean? That like, hey, he gonna see me through this. Like, you know what I mean? And that and
That
without
was 22 year old you, by the way, just for everybody that's listening.
yes,
22-year-old you. Just
yes, I don't know how. Hey man, I put a lot of I got to give you a lot of credit for putting your trust in the 22-year-old version of me, man. For real, for real.
I didn't trust my dean. I love him. I love him, but I didn't trust him at nothing. You know what I'm
But there,
saying?
but there had to be somebody you trusted, right? You got to find somebody who you trust, because if we don't have trust, you know what I
Hey,
mean?
I trust him. I trusted them other three guys I was with. That was it.
Exactly.
That's it.
So be it, you know what I mean? Having somebody you trust,
I ain't trust Kenny. I ain't trust Lucci. I ain't trust them dudes. I trust Shaka, Michael, Stanislaus, and Robert Rose. That was on who I trust.
Bro just gonna out people right here on the live too. You know
it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I hear him like because that's what it's like. So it's you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you asking, you know what I mean? You asking somebody, okay, listen, I know, and to Latoya's point in terms of like people are experiencing things with you, but they're not experiencing like you are. That's where the trust really comes in because listen, if you really know, you like, man, I know that this is what God is speaking to me. And in Isaac's case or situation, he was like, yo, it's man, my mental health, my what I'm going through and feeling about this job, there is nothing worse than waking up and not looking forward to going to work, man. That's if you've ever been there, and I've been there, that is not a good feeling. You spend as much time at work as you if not more, a good portion of your waking hours, your productive hours, you are spending at a place that you don't want to get up and go to. Man, that's tough. That's a tough thing to go through.
But you know what the other thing is too, and I think all of us grew up in this generation, man. Like our parents went to work because they felt like they had to. You know what I mean? Like they put up with all the nonsense, all the racism, sexism, whatever you want to call it, man. They dealt with that mess because they in their minds understood that they needed to make sure that food was on the table, right? And there's no knock to that, and I appreciate that because that's how I got to where I'm at now. But now that I'm an adult, and now that I'm thinking about how I want to raise, my kids and things like that, or raise our kids, Brandon and I, that I said to myself a long time ago, you know what I mean? Like I said, yo, I'm not working in the factory. I'm not getting oil spilled on me. I'm not gonna work for somebody that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't want to do that. Like to me, that's not life. You know what I mean? Because I don't view my job as just a job. I view it as, the assignment that I'm in. I'm here to do something. Like you do your work and you do it unto the Lord, right? Meaning that you do it as if He's watching you.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Because I feel you. My dad was born 1943, so trust me. The work ethic that came out of men that come from that era is the cloth that I'm cut from, right?
Yeah.
But I'll say that to say, we take everything, and again, kind of tying it right back to David, right? David was anointed to be king and living in a house with a man who wanted to kill him. So it's like, why would God put him in the house where knowing that this man would have killed him? Because there were things he could learn about being king. And there was things that he could learn about not being king as well. How
you said a whole lot.
You know what I mean?
You said a whole lot right there.
You know what I mean? So for me, like, hey, if you saw the Michael movie, it, Joe Jackson time. Like, hey, it was you know what I mean? Joe Jackson time was at the Smith crib. I think, and you know what? And I'm not even saying this to be funny. I'm not. This is the guys on the truth, and this is not a knock to the man that my father was. Listen, I don't think Joe Jackson could hold a kid. If they had a whooping Olympics, my dad would have destroyed Joe Jackson. Destroyed him. It wouldn't even been a close like Joe couldn't have held a candle to my dad.
Y'all seen Mike, man. He could only take so much. So yeah, Joe couldn't have been doing too much.
So you know what I mean? So to that end, right? I'm saying that to say I don't discipline my kids the same way.
Oh, somebody else got the Facebook on, or you?
Yeah, somebody else. So in any event, you know what I mean. I don't discipline my kids the way my father disciplined us. That's not to say there aren't things that I absolutely teach and do that my father did, but like learning. You know what I mean. Learning that like things that way, you know what I mean? There's other ways to do things. So in terms of taking the same work ethic, yeah, absolutely. So to your point, our parents' generation, they did things differently than we do. we're taking them and we're doing them differently. And so if you look at this generation, you know, our the people before us, they worked one job for 30, 40 years, stayed on that same job forever, and then retired from that place. Man, I think the average right now is like 4 years staying at the same workplace, because we're not gonna take the same things that our parents took. You know what I mean? So I think it's different in that way, and there's, with different comes, you know, it takes a different kind of faith. And so I think that your faith is being tugged on, and then your faith being tugged on is gonna elevate. You know what I mean? Your faith is gonna elevate through this. Calvin,
I'm sorry,
Calvin,
I just got to handle one of these comments on here, but y'all can
nah,
keep
man.
going.
If he watching this, hey, it means he watching. So keep commenting. You know what I mean? Listen, I know who I am, I know who my brothers are, and all of our wives know who we are too. So that's the least of my worries. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Watching, we appreciate you watching though.
yeah. Bring all your buddies too.
Yeah, you know
We'll
what I mean?
we'll take the views, no problem. But
Yeah.
you was I think the other part too though, man, is that, do y'all ever feel like you just get tired? You know what I mean? Like you just get tired as men and you just want to retreat, because that's not something I don't think you would hear most men say like, yo, bump it. Now, not to say that it hasn't happened, because we've seen it happen before. You know, people just kind of like walk out of their children's lives, and I'm sure they had their reasons for it. But you know, as men, man, you ever felt like yo, bro, I just want to retreat, man. Like I
Yeah,
ain't.
Thank you for your
yeah.
I'm
I get, you know, there's times I'm just frustrated. I'm tired. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it's like, yo, we're living in a society, man. Just us being who we are, we're already beyond the A stat. You know what I'm saying? And even with the job situation, you know, some of us go into a job situation, man, and we have to be on the P's and Q's. Why? Because I have a degree that my supervisor may not have. You know what I'm saying? I'm more educated than my supervisor. So what they try to do, they try to get you out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to frustrate you for you to see what what you build on. So sometimes we have to endure certain things. You know what I'm saying? In the job world, you know, we have to endure certain things, and sometimes it's not pretty. You know what I'm saying? But we have to do it because what? We have kids that we have to feed. We have our kids that we have to feed. We have our kids' school clothes, school fees, and all that stuff that we have to pay. And we have our home bills that we have to pay as well too. So you have to endure those things, and those things get tiring at times, bro. Um, just you have someone depending on you. You have to come through it all the time. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes just for you to say you don't have it, you know, people think you be bugging sometimes when you say you don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. It's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So part of life. We grow from it, we live it, and we just move on.
that's another reason I'm grateful for the platform that we have. You know what I mean? The brotherhood, of course, but you know, we get a chance to see each other weekly, and you know, offline or online, we, you know what I mean, we make sure that we do those check-ins. And my point in saying that is to your question, Cream, about feeling tired. When we're tired, man, it's so helpful to have someone who sees us, right? So kind of going back to Michael Beasley, he said he was on the bus one time. They were on, you know, on the bus, on the team bus, and he said I was sitting there and I didn't even know or realize I was crying. And he said Josh Hart came up to me and just said, "Bro, I don't know what you're going through, but man, you could talk to me. I'm here," and hugged him. You know what I mean? And so I, you know, just when you do have that way, when you are tired, how good it feels, how uplifting it feels when someone sees you, and even if they don't necessarily see you, can just pick you up. And you know what I mean, man. I'm gonna say this because again, I just feel it. That's why it's so important to have somebody that you connected to as a spiritual leadership in your life, because somebody who can pick you up in the spirit and not necessarily even have to see you, but know just, man, oh, you just hit my spirit, man, and send you a text or pick up the phone and call you, you know what I mean? Because those things helpful. But what I will say is we also have to, you know what I mean, kind of shed some of our bravado and say, you know what, man, hey, I don't know how to ask for help, but I'm telling you right now, like, I'm not in a good place. Whatever words or language we got to put on it, because that's you know, that's a lot of what Michael Beasley was talking about and touching on, you know. And so here it was, we see people, and we think that, you know, because of how much money they're making, they're good, they're in a good place. And the people that are, you know, eating off of these people don't even think enough about their well-being to check in on them and say, man, how you good? Everything okay? You know what I mean? Not checking on them, man. We got to be intentional about that.
Yeah.
And we also,
you know, we real quick, man. We also got to be like, this is when our women really come in and can be the super women that they are, man. To come in and like help us, come in and hold us up, understanding that we have to allow them to do that. You know, number one, and really just be able to, you know what I'm saying, just have that help, man. We need it. And I know we don't always know how to ask for it. We don't always throw out the right signals, it feels like sometimes, but like women, you know what I mean? Like men, we need y'all. You know what I'm saying? We need y'all support. We need your we don't want to be told this is what you're supposed to be doing. We know what we're supposed to be doing. That don't mean I don't need a pat on the back. You know what I mean? Or I don't need a thumbs up. Like, hey, you doing all right? Like, when my son, when he's playing sports, our thing is when he's out there and he's doing good, or even if he's struggling, you know what I'm saying? I just give him a thumbs up. That's all we do in the game. I just be like this. And that usually is the signal. Like, hey man, I see what you're doing. I see you. Like, keep it going. You're doing all right.
And that's it, man. That's the phrase. It's just like sometimes that's all you gotta say. It's not, you know, I don't need an appreciate you. I don't need a, you know, I got your back sometimes. I just like, yo, if you see that I'm stressed, you see that I'm struggling, and you recognize that, and you give me a few seconds to do a quick reset and just get it back right. I don't need you to say what's wrong. Don't ask me, you know, why. You know, it's just I just need to breathe right now and just say I see you. I recognize you. We'll give you your time. We'll give you your space. And you know, then, you know, I know you're gonna come back, and I know you're gonna, you know, be able to move forward from there. And I think as men, like, sometimes it's like you said, we just need that quick respite. Like, you just need that quick chance to kind of sit down and either not think about anything, or just, you know, or reflect on some things. But you got to, you know, kind of have that silence to be able to do that, right? And I'll be back. I know you need support, kids. I know y'all got a party to go to. Like, but right now, I just need that time. And yeah, you know, I think we just carry a lot of weight all the time, and it becomes an expectation. And that's why I feel so sorry for my son and some of the, you know, the young men that we have, you know, kind of coming up in this world right now, because there's so much superficial stuff that's going on that, you know, I think young men, and I think there's young people in general, you know, are kind of stuck on. And I think it's really going to have an impact on the way. Well, I think it already has. It's kind of already has an impact on how men view themselves as men. Young men view themselves as men, and this next generation is gonna really be interesting. But you know, that's a different conversation for a different time. But definitely, you know, having those opportunities to just like stop and pause and, you know, give me a minute. I'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be good. But I just need this time is always important.
I think the important thing that you and Kareem both touched on is recognition of the signs, right? You know what I mean? Like the people in our lives who were closely and intimately connected to, you know, being able to recognize the signs of when we're not good. You know what I mean? And then we then have to say, okay, you know what I mean? When asked, like, okay, I'm not good, and if what you need is that time, and maybe you need to communicate that, or maybe they already know what you need once they've identified, okay, this is the sign that, you know, he's not good. Like being able to, you know, kind of recognize those signs is so important, in order for there to be like, because if a sign is missed, right? If I'm going through and the sign is missed, then more just gets piled on, right? So it's like you at a breaking point, and somebody's like, you know, man, you ain't, you know, you didn't do whatever, right? And now it is the levees break at some point. So there's only so much that can be, you know what I'm saying, withstood, and that's not an excuse or a reason or a justification to do anything stupid. I'm just saying, you know, you know what I mean, we have to be kind of, as much as we have to do better about making sure that we communicate those signs, because I see your point. It is hard. I see your point, Latoya. It is hard to ask for help, right? We've been conditioned to not ask for help because we grew up, right? You know, I had one of those. I had one of those grandmothers and mothers that, yo, we go somewhere and be like, listen, don't look at nothing, don't ask for nothing, don't, you know what I mean? Yeah, bruh. Like, nah, don't look at nothing, don't ask for nothing. Like,
I've even said it too. I ain't gonna hold you. I've even said
and
it.
you bet not act like you know what I mean? You know, oh, you in need of it. Like in terms of like somebody like, oh, you need it. Like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Because, you know, because it's a reflection. It reflects it on, you know, on them, right? It was a reflection on them. And so I think we are dealing with and still kind of battling some of the internalized, you know, life lessons and traumas that we may have grown up with, and I feel like we're doing an all right job. Every generation has had to battle the traumas that they experienced growing up, you know what I mean, and whatnot. So I think we just navigated the best we can, and continue to have these kind of dialogues in order to really, you know, get to the goal. For me is the healthiest place possible, just to be as healthy as we possibly can be. And so, you know, hopefully as we grow in our health, we are able to communicate and articulate, you know, if you see me like this, again, this might mean I'm not so good, and here's what I need in that moment. For you, it might be, I need a hug or a pat on the back or an encouraging word. Or for you, it might just be, I need some space. Or for you, you know what I mean? For somebody else, it might, you know, it might be something different. But whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like we have to get to a point where we're healthy enough to communicate that need if it's something that we you know, we know and we realize is going to help us be better.
Man, B, I think this is a good spot, man, for us to transition. We got some comments, bros.
Yeah.
And I think it's good, man, if we just kind of run through the comments real quick. I think we touched on most of it, but since we got a lot of folks commenting, man, we want to make sure that we capture some of those.
Yeah, for sure. I see Calvin, man. He said, once I realized that it's okay to not be okay, you know, and I'm gonna kind of paraphrase. You know, you those explosive moments will decrease. You know what I mean? Trying to, you know, but again, I think it goes back to growing up environments where we got to be on so much. We got to be hard. So, you know, you can't let nobody be, you know, you're not okay. And so, you know, yeah, our response to certain triggers is violence and anger. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel you on that. But the healthiest thing that we can have, and you talk about it all the time is man, just the growth that you've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So we appreciate you, bro. We appreciate, you know, your cousin Latoya has been in the comments, you know what I mean, definitely helping the conversation, move the conversation, and we appreciate it, you know what I mean. She said the most frustrating part is when you can't continue to hold the weight. The world looks at you differently. Absolutely.
Jeez.
But you know what? Again, as crazy as that is, you know what I mean. So I think about there's a quote by Scheherazade Ali that I always come back to, and she said this about black men. She said, "This society that we lived in placed value and emphasis on certain things, certain materialistic things, right? Prevented us as black men from being able to attain those things, and then judged us for not being able to obtain them. So it placed value on superficiality, kept us from being able to obtain it, and then judged us for our inability to obtain it, even though they knew they had stacked the deck against us from being able to attain it." And I think
and then judged us once we got it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know, as much of a weight as that is, man, it's also a freeing place. You know, like we, you know, just I'm learning to just live free.
Bro. That freedom, man, is a state of mind. You know what I'm saying? And it's a state, not is it just a state of mind, it's a state of heart. You know, just knowing that you're free. I think to know that you're free, you have to know that you're loved. And I was talking to my daughter about this morning about, I said, you know who the number one person that you need to love? She goes, what? Jesus? I was like, yes. Okay, we got that one down. But there's one more right after that.
Nah, he said charity begin at home.
Charity begin at home, bro. Yep. I said, you gotta love yourself, man. You gotta love yourself. No one's gonna love you like you love you. You gotta love yourself, and then you can freely love other people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can all do, you know what I mean? That's something we can all do. You know what I mean? Like we extend grace to other people, extend that grace to yourself, be kind to yourself. You know what I mean? You know, like that's a big thing for me. You know what I mean? You know, like be kind to yourself. Like this there's a line in The Great Debaters where at the beginning when they were putting together the debate team, and the one brother said something, you know, kind of derogatory about himself, nothing super crazy, but and Denzel Washington says, his character, he says, Mr. So-and-so, he was like, yes. He said, would you punch yourself in a fist fight? He said, no. He said, don't punch yourself in a word fight. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and so like I shared this with some youth, and I tell my kids this. When you say things like, if I say, man, you know, Kareem, man, it is like, yo, he got 6 fingers. You know what I mean? Kareem only knows that I said that if he hears me say it, right? And and that can or cannot only, you know what I mean, impact him, except he hear it. If he doesn't hear it, then nothing I say or nothing anyone says can affect or impact him. But the things we say about ourselves, whether we say it out loud or not, our internal ear hears it.
Yeah.
So we got to be kind to ourselves, because even if you don't say it out loud, you know what I mean, those things that you say about yourself, you hear them. And don't, you know what I mean? So, you know, we gonna go out in the world and get beat up enough by life. You don't need to add to that. You know what I mean? We don't need to be adding to the beating up that we experience and endure on a day-to-day basis.
Right. Bro. Yeah. Hey, bro.
So much more, and so many more places we could go with it. And you know, 1010, I like 1010 as a stop place, you know what I mean? And I think that again, there's still a lot of bullet points that we didn't get to touch on from, you know what I mean, that you know we can even kind of open up with next week and extend this conversation, because I think there was a lot that we had going, and then once the live and the pictures started popping up, it disrupted our flow, and we got back into it, but I think there's still a lot left there.
We appreciate the folks for rocking with us, though, for coming back.
For sure.
For kicking it with us. We appreciate y'all. For sure.
So yeah, we may kind of kick off with this next week as well. And let us know if y'all want to see us kick off here, kind of, or if you got thoughts, ideas, and on what you'd like to hear us discuss and share about. Feel free to share that as well in the comments. And we'll definitely, we will discuss it.
Can I start off with shout outs?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got a big one, y'all. I had to write my notes down.
Shout out to I got him. Got him.
Man. Sometimes, man, in my mind, I be like, man, y'all ain't no good.
Got him. I was going there.
All right, man. First things first. I want to shout out to the Black Awareness Coordinating Committee. I had the opportunity to do the keynote for Black graduation this year, so I definitely want to shout them out for allowing me to speak. My topic was around speaking up and around, the fact that they have earned a seat at the table, and it's up to them to use their voice in order to speak up and speak out. So I definitely want to shout them out at RIT. Next, I want to shout out to a family member. My cousin's nephew got drafted to the Las Vegas Raiders, Keon Crawford. So I want to shout him out. Also want to give a shout out to Priscilla Parker. She's putting on an event called Men of Distinction Appreciation Luncheon. And the guest speakers are going to be Eddie Blanding and our very own Shafon Higgins. So it's going to be on June 13th. It's going to be at the RIT Alumni House. Yes, and tickets are $45. So please tell your people, tell your folk, tell the men that you love, that you like, even the ones you might not care for. Let them know that this is happening. Want to get them in there. And
so we have to take a gas.
Yeah. It's just, just shoot. Might be 2 tanks of gas with that. Might be taking a half a tank. What you got to pay for gas?
That's what I'm saying. It's only half a tank.
Yeah, half a tank. I also want to shout out.
And make sure to limit state conversation, man. Give 10 minutes.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Let me. I got one more, and then I want to shout out to brother Darius, who graduated from Utica. So I want to shout the Neo out for that. Now, what we all been waiting for, I would like to shout out to my wife on her remarkable journey. She's been shooting with me in the gym, but most importantly, she's been putting in all that hard work. Most of you know my story, that back in the fall, I was in the hospital, and this woman had been working on her doctorate in social work for the past 3 years. She did not skip a beat. She held the house down. She did her thing. And last week on a Tuesday, April 28th at 2:30 p.m., she defended her dissertation capstone. So everybody, we're going to give her a hand clap to my wife that I got to go to bed with.
How do you shoot yourself in the foot, man?
Shout out to you. Not just my wife, but shout out to Dr. Say it with me, everybody. Doctor. So I love you. I'm proud of you. And it's only up from here. And also, in the spirit of Isaac, the money gonna start flowing in.
And you gotta love it, man.
You gotta practice these speeches, man. This is not good. You gotta work on these speeches, man.
Love you. Hopefully you listening. If not, catch us on the
Nah,
replay. But I love
for
you.
your sake, I hope she isn't. You know what I mean? I hope for your sake, I hope not.
Give her the edited version.
The edited version?
Yeah. Just go down there and be like, baby, I'm
Edit
good
for flow.
about
Edit for
you.
flow. Nah, that was dope, Kareem. That was good, man. Don't listen to B, man.
Hey man, congrats to Dr. Brandy, man.
You made the formal announcement on Bro Talk. It was perfect, man.
Yeah, that you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'll go second, man. Hey man,
Right.
I want to shout out these Jamaicans, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out these Jamaican track athletes. You know what I'm saying? I would be remiss not to shout out my country peoples. You know what I'm saying? Winning these goals. You know what I'm saying? So shout out these Jamaican athletes, man. You know, my country needs to do better at taking care of their athletes. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of them leave and run for other countries because they get the perks of running for these countries and get citizenships. But the real one stays home because they know that's where the cooking is, at home. So I want to shout out my Jamaicans people, man. And I don't really have much to say, man. Shout out to y'all brothers. Shout out to my number, Brandy. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations on attaining your PhD. Shout out to y'all brothers, man, for being who you guys are. Appreciate you, brothers. You know, and shout out. And also we have a lot of young people that's gonna graduate. I want to take this time to, I don't know most of you guys, but I want to say congratulations. I want to say, take this, man, run with it. If you got to go back to school to get your master's degree, or if you graduate with your associate and trying to go get your bachelor's degree, because continue the journey and respect the journey, respect life, and continue to do the right thing, man, by yourself and for your family. You understand what I'm saying? It's a good thing, man. And I love this time. I love May just because of graduation. I see a lot of posting and stuff like that. Shout out my little sister Africa. Her daughter just graduated, man. Shout her out, you know. And let's continue to do great things out there. That's it for me, fellas.
Yeah, I'll go next, man. Just very quickly, just shout out to you brothers for being great, upstanding gentlemen and your families in this community, for doing the work, for doing God's work, man, for getting on this show and sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your purpose. That's not always an easy thing to do either. I know for me, it's not always an easy thing to get on because I was definitely taking a nap, which while I was late logging in today. So, but this is always worth it, and I definitely need this time. So I appreciate you brothers for being there. And then shout out to Kareem, man. Really meant a lot for you to stop by, the crib this weekend, man. So I know we missed you on the first time you stopped by on your way down to the beach, but glad you were able to kind of circle back and stop by. I know the kids were, saying, we want to see Uncle Kareem, So, when you answered the call to stop by on the way back, man, it was definitely, good to see you, have you at the crib and, just kind of sit down and chat. So definitely appreciate that time. And then, just like we always do, definitely got to shout out my wife because, well, y'all know she about to go to work soon, and you about to get that OT. So tell her out, man, for all that she do. Definitely appreciate you, shorty. And that's it. I'm out.
Yo, if I see anybody do that, we might have to copyright that, man. That
yeah, you didn't hear it first.
Yeah.
My first shout out goes to my mom, man. So this past weekend at the 707 tournament, like I was saying, so the person that was gonna hold down the grill and run, kind of, I guess, support concessions, backed out kind of last minute, and I told Greg, let me make some phone calls, and man, I called my mom, and when I say She cleaned and seasoned 2 cases of chicken wings. So you talking to like somewhere in the neighborhood of between 500 and 600 pieces of chicken.
Wow.
And Friday night to Saturday, got up. We worked the grill and a fryer, 2 grills and a fryer. You know what I mean? Cooked the wings, grill. She was frying wings, grilling wings, making hamburgers and hot dogs. I mean, fries. Like she was just so clutch, man. Just coming in, filling in. You know what I mean? You know, so and part of that had a lot to do with so Monroe, who we've shouted out on this program and platform before, with first RCSD school ever to win a state championship, is not receiving, and so now here's the ask, right? Is not receiving any support to get their state championship rings. These kids deserve them. They earn them. Everything. If you know anything about the coaches in the program over at Monroe, they won the state championship on a Saturday, and then Tuesday was back in the lab putting in work to get ready for this season that still got months to come before they get started, right? These kids work year round to perform at the highest level they possibly can, and they've earned it. And so, you know, shout out to my mom for stepping in, and she's just like, yo, listen, I'm helping. You know what I mean? Shout out to my wife. My wife had a chapter meeting, and then right immediately after the chapter meeting, she rolled up her sleeves and was back there. I mean, again, her, my mom, and I got a shout out, you know, her niece Kendra, Mrs. Green, Teacher Green. She had an event, came straight from the event, and again rolled up her sleeves, and she was still dressed for the event. She had on, like, she looked like she was, you know, out of episode of Bridgerton where she was real nicely dressed, and you know, kind of again just all hands on deck to make sure these kids get what they've earned, and that's what a community is like when it comes together. So if you can support these youth, man, the cash app to donate to is #, which is the $, MTM716. MTM716. So, you know, and again, also the Jamboree is going to be coming up on May 11th. So next Monday, May 11th, the Jamboree, and there's an opportunity for you to support there. So if you come in, Rochester Sports Complex.
Say that one more time. MTM.
MTM.
Yep.
16.
All right, got it. Okay, just put it in the chat.
So you can support there, or, you know, by way of the cash app, or you can or come to the Jamboree next Monday and support these young men there, because there's going to be over 30 Division 1, 2, and 3 college coaches there to give these young men a look and an opportunity to possibly advance their careers further. So, you know, come support these young men. They've worked extremely hard. Like I said, so shout out to Monroe. Shout out to Mom. I'm coming back to my wife. Shout out to my son again. Had an amazing weekend. You know, just playing quarterback, and the young men for putting in hard work. Last but certainly not least, man, shout out to you brothers. Man, I love y'all, man, and I appreciate, you know, the space to be able to do this with y'all every week, man. And again, you know, we come on here and we, you know, it's not easy being vulnerable, but I appreciate, you know, every one of y'all and getting on and just doing this with us, you know what I mean? And everybody that's watching, man, we appreciate you coming on and supporting. And when we run into y'all, man, you know, and y'all say, hey, even if you wasn't in the comments, you say, hey, we've been watching, it means everything to us. You know what I mean? It encourages us and motivates us to keep doing this. So we appreciate you. We thank you. Man, I you know, hey, I don't know if she's watching, but I can't wait to get off and come see you, baby. And and get a hug and a kiss. Because again, I appreciate you and thank you for so much. For she worked hard, and I can't do life without her.
Hey man, B, what is it that? So you tell me this school set records in Rochester, and you don't tell me that they have to be scraping the penny pots, man, to grab some rings for these kids?
We're gonna be
Yes,
on for
sir.
another hour, bro. We'll
talk when the live. We'll talk when the live.
He doesn't have a big enough budget.
Nah. I want to talk this on live.
I
want to talk this on live. I want to hide, bro. So if it was,
let's devote a whole hour to it, bro.
No. I just got to make a statement. Y'all don't have to reply.
Do you?
Know yeah, Kareem. I know you got to go on Thursday, man. I know you got to get up Thursday. You know if it was what's that school out? What's one of them schools, man?
Oh yeah, man. Listen, Pittsford, Victor, Webster, Fairport.
Yes, if it was one of those schools that did that, would we be talking on this thing about Cash App?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, I just thought. Okay.
Yeah.
We still got to take care of ours though.
Absolutely. And we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna make sure every one of those young men get a ring, because they earned it. Yeah. Before we get off, man, listen. By the time we on here again next Monday, we will have already celebrated Mother's Day. But shout out to all the mothers. Happy early Mother's Day. Man, again,
Mom.
Yeah. Where will we be without mothers, man? So happy early Mother's Day to my sis Brandy Hayes, and congratulations, Dr. Brandy Hayes. Much love and respect. Shout out and happy Mother's Day to Miss Ezra Bliss, man. Listen, you a special lady, because Lord have mercy.
That did a lot, man. He a lot.
No lie, man. God bless her.
Yeah, listen.
Hey, man, shout out to Ike Mom, too, man.
Absolutely. And shout out.
Miss Hayes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my moms as well.
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah, shout out to your mom. To Miss Brew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, shout out to my mom and shout out to my wife, man. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, listen.
Shout out to M-Dub too. M-Dub.
Oh yeah, for sure. But happy early Mother's Day, baby. I appreciate everything you do. Like, listen, she be overriding me for them boys. Like, them boys, listen, they got the best mama. I'm telling you, man. She love them boys. She love them boys. So they better. I got to make sure they do something proper for their mom for Mother's Day. They got it good, and it is not easy having those Smiths for children. That's
I want people to go hard for Father's Day too, man.
We'll talk about it, but
that's coming.
Happy early Mother's Day, everybody.
I don't want the socks.
To all the moms watching.
I don't want the socks.
To all the moms watching in the chat, happy early Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Enjoy.
Yes.
Hey, Kareem, what's Stephanie at, man?
Huh?
Steph.
Oh man, I got some stuff planned, bro. It's already in the work.
You didn't hear what I said, but okay.
I did it.
Just in the live, bro.
I know, just I'm not gonna entertain you, man.
Yo, as everybody can see, man, they always trying to get me in trouble. All right, everybody, good night. See y'all later.
Everybody. Calvin, my guy.
Peace. Giants.
Stay